Hi everyone, welcome back to Family Secrets. My name is Leslie Fatheree and this is Hannah Merry. She's our oldest daughter and she's joining us today to finish up Course 10, Unit 3, Toddler Basics. So we've been very happy to get to do this together, sharing our mommy thoughts, and we are really excited to share them with you. We've gone over a lot of things already, but there just seem to be a few more things that a toddler might need to you not need to know about a toddler. You might need to work out with your toddler. So today we're starting with a topic that is maybe controversial to you. To us it seems simple, but we'll see how it goes. Biting. Toddlers tend to try to bite. And what are you going to do about that? Hannah's going to share with us what we're going to do about that.
Well, it's fitting because I got bit this morning by my toddler. So it will depend on the child.
Yeah.
Some children are biters and some are not.
Right.
And sometimes when they're biters, they're really biters. And sometimes it's just like a one-off. So it just depends on the kid. My first was not a biter,
Right.
thankfully. He bit me one time. We had a discussion, and by that I mean I just was like, no. And that was it. Now, our daughter, she's bit a couple times. She can find it funny when you react, so you gotta like stick calm enough to where she understands you're serious.
Yes.
But she did bite me this morning. No, this morning it was an accident. She was just like sticking her face in my shoulder, and there happened to be a bite. It wasn't purposeful, but she has on purpose just hauled off and bit me before. And so when that happens, we tell her no.
Yes.
We explain we don't bite. We say it's ouchy. And sometimes it's something where we'll sit her like in a chair for a minute and we'll make her sit there. Or sometimes you just no, and that's enough.
Yeah.
It just depends on the child and how offended they are by your assertion back at them.
Often your toddler, when you pick them up, the first thing they want to do is bite your shoulder for some reason.
And it hurts.
So it does. And so I can remember all of our kids maybe tried that once. But if you just kind of pop them in the mouth with your shoulder, they usually get the idea that, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
It just takes a little action to stop that. If you have someone who's really persistent at it, you may need to be persistent with them at the sitting them aside and saying, no, we do not do that. And be very firm, be very, very strong that is not okay. And then the unpleasant consequence of having to sit aside, usually will deter them. Every once in a while you get one that you kind of need to just bite back, just take their little finger and kind of bite on it so they get it, that they're like, oh, that hurts. You don't have to like make marks. You don't have to do it hard. But just enough that they get the feeling of, oh, ouch. And then it kind of starts to click. Yeah. I had one like that. So you have to know what you need, but you have to get the message through. And we really want to emphasize that you do that immediately.
Yes.
Stop it right away. Don't laugh at them. Don't laugh it off, and don't let it continue because it'll just get bigger. And it'll just and sometimes then they'll start turning on siblings and they're trying to resolve their problems by biting them. And so we don't want to encourage that activity. So stop them right away when they're biting. And that's, it's just a small thing, but sometimes you just don't know what to do about those things. So that's one thing we wanted to cover. Next thing we want to talk about kind of goes along with biting because it's in your mouth is the pacifier. Pacifiers are an awesome thing. They're great. They are not great in the middle of the night when you can't find one, but they're great.
Hot tip. Keep a jar with the pacifiers right next to the crib, like on the dresser, so you know where they're at.
Yes, that's a good idea.
We did that with our pacifier kid, and it was very helpful in the middle of the night when he would toss them overboard. Like, I have 3 more right here.
Yes. Yes, that's a great idea, because I have fished for one for, a long time trying to get the pacifier back in the mouth. But anyway, they use the pacifier. It's good because it soothes and it comforts them. All that sucking action is great, and they like that. But there's going to come a point where you don't want your child to be having a pacifier in their mouth constantly. Teeth are coming in. Then they just bite through it, which is bad. So.
And it's also bad for their teeth. If they suck on it too long, it can cause dental issues.
Right. So you want to have a cutoff date. In our house, the cutoff date was always 2 years old. We started months ahead of their second birthday, just talking to them and sharing with them that when you turn 2, we're going to throw the passy away in the trash. And so if you have kind of have your child, you give them a piece of paper that's crumpled up and say, go put it in the trash, they kind of get used to throwing things away. And then you are sharing with them, okay, we're going to do that with your pacifier at 2, when you turn 2, when you have your second birthday. So we did that with all of our children, and they all were ready when they turned 2. We had a special little ceremony, take it to the trash, throw it away, and it was gone. It was gone, and that was the end of it. And we never had any fits, we didn't have any problems, but we had prepped them. We had told them what was going to happen. We have told them repeatedly what was going to happen, so they knew what to expect. Yes. They knew what to expect. They were part of the process, because we didn't just take it away from them and then like it was hidden or something. No, they threw it away and understood that it was gone.
Yeah.
It was gone.
Yeah.
And so that always went really smooth for us. The follow through on that would be to continually remind that if they're asking for it the next day or whatever, then remember we threw it away. Walk them back through it and stick to your guns. Do not go buy another pacifier. They can do it. They can do it. We're encouraging you.
Yes.
Believe they can do it. They can do it. Have anything else to add to that?
If your child, like mine, loses their pacifier, their last one, a month ahead of their birthday, just call it quits. That's what we did. He was perfectly fine. We were like, well, you're a big kid now. You lost it, and I'm not buying another one. And he was totally fine. And that is a child who he literally would sleep with the pacifier, and he would like hold it in his mouth. I don't know how. He like levitated it in his mouth and like in his sleep suck it back in. Right. So he was always with his pacifier. We were looking for it constantly if he lost it. And he even was fine with, okay, well, we're done because you lost it. So just don't tell your child what they're going to do. Don't let them tell you what they should do.
Right. And that's just really, that really is the gist of it. If you're communicating with your child, if you're telling them what's going to happen, they know what to expect. And so they're not going to be flustered about it because they already know that's what's going to happen. We were talking earlier about Hannah's littlest one is a thumb sucker. What are you going to do about getting rid of that thumb? Because it's the same issue dentally and having that constantly in their mouth and not wanting your child to get too old and still sucking on their thumb. And so what are you going to do about that, Hannah?
Well, we've started telling her that when she turns 2, we're going to be done sucking our thumb. And we're going to use the same process. And then if she tries to suck her thumb past turning 2, we'll just remove it from her mouth, remind her we aren't doing that. If we have to resort to something icky tasting on the thumb, we can.
Right.
But the idea being that she doesn't just suck her thumb, throughout the day or whatever.
Right.
If she were to put it in her mouth in her sleep, I'd probably just go take it out because that's an involuntary action that's harder to do. But for just daily sucking of the thumb, we will be done with that at 2. Right. And so we've just started prepping her the same way.
Sure.
And I'll get back to you on how that goes.
All right, then. That sounds awesome. Remember that you're not being mean to your child.
No.
You're just being firm with them that this is what's going to happen. You're not trying to be nasty to them or punish them. You're just sharing with them nicely, kindly, with a smile. Just tell them how it's going to be.
Yes.
And be firm about it then. When it happens, then we're done and we're not going back.
Yeah.
And honestly, 5 children, I did not have anyone who was upset about losing that passy. Throwing that passy away, so it's fine. They'll be fine. Just trust your instincts there. The last thing we want to share about today is potty training. Another hot topic, wonderful, but necessary. It's something that's going to happen. I was always looking forward to when the diapers were done and we were ready to move on to the underwear. It was wonderful. One of the most important things was always wait for them to be ready. There is all kinds of crazy advice everywhere in this world about potty training when they're a baby, potty training when they're 1, just try to not listen to all of the craziness. A child has to develop muscles. They have to develop an understanding in their thoughts on, I need to go potty.
Yeah.
So there, you have to wait for them to be ready. They may fluke go for you, but that doesn't mean they're ready. So you need to watch for signs. Hannah was talking about when they're ready to, or when they know they need to go, they'll walk off because they're going to go. Well, then they're connecting that
they're going to the bathroom.
Right. Yeah. So just watch for those signs of readiness. I know that girls in our family, especially, girls were ready about 2. The guys later.
Yeah.
But just kind of watch, and then when you see those signs of readiness, you can start working on that. Share with us some ideas.
Sure. Well, I would say, to kind of touch on what you've already said, that there are a lot of people who promote like potty training from birth or something weird like that, and honestly, it's a very humanistic view, and it's not based on science as much as they'll tell you it is. And so just ignore them because they just ignore them. But signs of readiness are definitely walking off to go to the bathroom, particularly walking off to poop, because they understand that they're going to go do that at that point. Asking to go to the bathroom, or bringing you a diaper when they're wet and they know it. Like, they're starting to understand, like, this is icky, I don't want to do this.
Right.
And so that's a good point to kind of feel out, like, do we think we're ready? For us, our oldest, he, we started him about 2.5 working on going potty. And it wasn't full time. At night, he still wore a diaper, but during the day, we would try to go around every 30 minutes just to see if he would go in the potty. And he caught on to going number 1 in the potty pretty quickly. He did decent with that. I mean, we still had accidents, but for the most part, he was ready for that. But he was not ready for number 2 yet. And so it took him till almost, well, let's see. So he did okay with it for a while, and then he kind of regressed, which is another thing with potty training. Sometimes you'll get one who will regress, and then they'll be fine after that. So hold on to the regression.
That's right.
Because he regressed around age 3, we went through a spurt. But then by age 4, he was totally like, we weren't even having accidents. We really quit carrying the bag with us. Like, we were fully done. So it took a while to get fully there, but we just kind of followed his cues, and we did use the reward system method, where if he peed in the potty, he got an M&M, and we just kept those for that. I'm a big fan of bribery.
Because it works for her.
It works.
I will say that our oldest son, he showed no interest in potty training for a really long time. And he was 3, he turned 3, and suddenly you could tell he was ready. And so within a week, because we waited for him to be ready, within a week he had it down. He was just totally done. And that's all it took. But I put him in diapers till he was 3. I mean, you know. And so know that your sons may take longer, 3 to 4, but daughters usually, girls usually are a little earlier. Not always, but usually. So just watch for the signs of readiness, and then work with them and be patient with them. They need your patience, and they need your help. So when they are saying, I gotta go, you gotta drop your stuff and run. You've got to do it then. Be sure that you are paying attention to them, because another time I think that it spurs regression for them, and that is when you stop paying attention. And they're not getting help from you, then they'll just start doing they'll start going in their pants because they're trying to get your attention. So watch for that.
And another thing I thought of with Aiden, he was like, not for very long, but he had that weird thing where, like, sometimes kids are scared to go poop in the potty for whatever reason. And someone on the internet gave me this tip, and it was genius. So what we would do was we left his diaper on him, and we sat him on the potty, and he pooped in the diaper on the potty. just to get him like used to sitting while doing it.
Mhm.
Because part of the deal was that he was used to like squatting in his diaper, and so then sitting to go potty was weird. And so we let him do that a couple times, and then the next time we removed the diaper and sat him down on the potty. But those couple times of sitting while doing it, even though
Right.
it was gross and you still had to clean it, helped him be less afraid of going on the potty. So that was a good
Good
tip.
tip. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So we've covered all of the toddler basics we can think of. We are glad that you joined us, and thank you for tuning in on our course on toddler basics. We'll see you next time.